It's Friday, June 23. In the headlines, PEP results to be released today. In business news, Labour Minister calls for improved global competitiveness. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago to host CARICOM celebrations in July. Internationally, news on the Titan submersible said to have imploded while on an expedition to the sunken Titanic ship. In sports, tickets available for White Ball Series against England. And in the entertainment news, dancehall star Busy Signal was presented with a certificate of recognition. This is the weekend news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. We begin with a weather report. The Meteorological Service says there is a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across Jamaica over the next few days. This afternoon, we can expect isolated showers and thunderstorms across sections of central and western parishes. Windy conditions are forecast, especially across southern parishes. Tonight should be partly cloudy. In the 3-day forecast on Saturday, cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms are forecast mainly across sections of southern parishes. On Sunday through to Monday, scattered showers and thunderstorms are forecast across sections of most parishes. Today, Friday, June 23, has been proclaimed a National Day of Mourning for Jamaica's children who have been victims of violence and abuse. Governor General, His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, made the proclamation on Wednesday.
And whereas there is an urgent need for change and a renewed commitment to ensure the safety, security, and happiness of our children. And whereas a strong reminder must be sent to each citizen to foster a safe environment, nurture the well-being of our children, and provide them with the opportunities they need to be successful in life. And whereas the nation needs to be galvanized to raise this awareness and support for an initiative to save our children, save our homes, save our nation.
He expressed his condolences to the families and children who were victims of violence. He says it is our collective responsibility to honor the memory of children who were killed. Jamaicans are being encouraged to participate by holding devotionals and remembrance services in homes, workplaces, churches, schools, and private or small group prayer vigils. Persons may also engage in individual or group moments of silence, the turning on of headlights, the wearing of black, the tolling of church bells at noon, and any other appropriate response. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, in his remarks during the ceremony, said the proclamation was more than words on a document, emphasizing that it is intended to mobilize the collective hurt of the nation into positive action for change.
We must draw the line and send a strong signal that these acts must have laws that are strong deterrent, and if the perpetrators were not deterred, then the penalties must be as severe as the act that they have committed. And that is the purpose of this period of mourning. It is to mobilize the entire society to defend that moral line in the sand.
Primary exit profile exam results for grade 6 students should be published today, June 23. The Ministry of Education is set to release the results. Education Minister Favour Williams provided an update on the performance of thousands of students during a press briefing. The PEP exam evaluates students' proficiency in mathematics, language arts, science, and social studies.
Starting with mathematics and going across from beginning through developing proficient, highly proficient. In the beginning category, 4% of the students, developing 39%, proficient 49%, highly proficient 8%. In language arts overall, in the beginning category, 6.7%, developing 32.6%, proficient 54.4%, highly proficient 6.3%.
The results of the PEP exam will be used by both students and teachers to identify areas that are of concern regarding their performance in different subject areas. Time now for the business report with Danita Rodney.
Welcome to the business report. I'm Danita Rodney. Increased productivity will help Jamaica improve its global competitiveness. Those words from Minister of Labor Pernell Charles Jr. at the Jamaica Productivity Center Hybrid Forum meeting earlier this week.
If you're competing on a global market, on a global scale, you can't just be concerned with how the person beside you is working. And so if they are mediocre, and you're a little bit above them, you're okay. No. We are concerned with what's taking place in Australia, Canada, India, China, everywhere. Because Jamaica Productivity Center wants to drive Jamaica towards its maximum potential. We don't want to just be floating.
Consultant Project Manager at JamPro, Sharifa Powell, echoed Minister Charles's sentiment and added that with the country's low levels of productivity over the last 2 decades, there is need to prioritize improvement.
It reflects, however, that the joint influence of labor input, per capita used, and total factor productivity, which reflects the overall efficiency of production, is not at the level it needs to be. All these facets of productivity have a direct impact on economic growth. When productivity increases, so does growth. When growth increases, our earning potential increases, our standard of living increases. It is therefore important for Jamaica to prioritize improving productivity as a catalyst for economic development.
Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Thursday, June 22, the US dollar sold for an average of $154.99. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $117.41. The pound sterling traded for $198.48, and the euro sold for an average of $172.66. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by 1,951 points. The junior market index declined by 19 points. The combined market index declined by 1,996 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 993 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 95 stocks, of which 36 advanced, 41 declined, and 18 traded firm. Stocks advanced for Access Financial Services Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited, and Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Barita Investments Limited, and Berger Paints Jamaica Limited. Trading firm were 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Verbal Preference, Siboney Group Limited, and Derrimon Trading Company Limited. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares with over 13 million units, Carreras Limited with over 3 million units, and Sagicor Select Funds Limited Manufacturing and Distribution with over 2 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, zero securities traded. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, zero securities were also traded. In regional business, the high-level summit on a new global financing pact opened in France, with Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley stressing the planet must be saved to make it livable. Ms. Motley says transformation and not reform of international financial institutions is needed.
Privately, I call this the How Dare You Summit. How dare you? How dare you upset the order? How dare you step out of your crease and summon us all to this inflection moment that will determine whether we will have the capacity and the will to bring pace and scope to the problem. I can tell you that there has been movement. Yes, 9 months ago, no one was speaking about natural disaster clauses. Now we have people wanting to recognize the wisdom of it. I ask us today not to leave Paris without understanding that the bolstering of the political ambition that is required must secure transformation and not reform. And I ask us to ensure that those of us who are heads of government and heads of state recognize that the world cannot continue in the shadow of an old imperial order that does not see countries, does not feel countries, does not hear countries, and worse, does not see, feel, or hear people. I ask us today to recognize that we cannot come to Paris but let our directors go back to the IMF or the World Bank and it be business as usual.
In international business, Wall Street ended higher as Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell suggested the central bank has not reached the end of its tightening cycle.
U.S. stocks closed mostly higher Thursday as the technology-heavy NASDAQ got a boost from momentum stocks like Apple and Amazon. The Dow finished roughly flat, the S&P 500 climbed nearly 0.4%, and the NASDAQ rose about 1%. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell was back on Capitol Hill Thursday, this time before a Senate panel, where he reiterated his view that more rate hikes are likely in the months ahead. Despite the expectation of higher interest rates, Taves Asset Management CEO Phil Taves says investors need to maintain their current allocation in stocks for the time being.
I think that we're testing this bull market to see if momentum will continue to reign, and if we see this move up further into double-digit gains for some of the major indices. I think fundamentals are a potential deterrent, and obviously the possibility that interest rates are going to continue to rise is also a deterrent. But I think that one has to at least remain allocated to stocks in case we do rally higher. The downturn that we expected earlier this year has not been playing out. So I think you need to keep that allocation in case this drives higher.
On the economic front, weekly jobless claims held steady at a 20-month high, while the Conference Board's leading economic index posted its 14th consecutive monthly decline, suggesting that the Fed's efforts to dampen the economy are beginning to have their intended effect. Stocks on the move included Boeing and Airbus parts supplier Spirit Aerosystems, which said it would shut down production ahead of a workers' strike set to begin Saturday. Shares fell 9%, while Boeing slid 3%. And Olive Garden owner Darden Restaurants fell nearly 3% after forecasting an annual profit largely below Wall Street expectations because of high food and labor costs.
In market data for oil dropped for a second day and was headed for a weekly decline as a UK interest rate hike added to concern over economic growth that outweighed lower US crude stocks and other signs of tighter supplies. Brent crude slipped 91 cents to $73.23 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude was down $1.22 at $68.29.
And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney. Back to you, Simone.
Thanks, Danita. In regional news, Trinidad and Tobago will be hosting the 45th Conference of the CARICOM Heads of Government in July, as well as the body's 50th anniversary celebrations. More from TTT News.
Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, said the formal opening ceremony of the conference will be on July 3rd, in which all 14 member states have confirmed their attendance. A commemorative event is also planned in Chaguaramas on the anniversary date of July 4th, followed by a plenary session at the Hyatt Regency and a gala event at Napa in the evening. Minister Brown said Trinidad and Tobago is privileged to host such an event for CARICOM.
This 50th anniversary of the founding of CARICOM is very significant for our region, and our commemorations will be of the level that will convey the importance of the event, that will allow for key introspection, deliberations, celebration of our achievements as a region, as well as reflection on the 50 years that have passed.
Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, is among several high-level officials expected to attend. Meanwhile, Minister Brown also announced a special visit by the current King of Asante from the Republic of Ghana for Emancipation Day celebrations in August.
Asante Hini Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. I said that very carefully to get his name correct. He is the King of Ashanti, a very important member of royalty of the Republic of Ghana, who will be our chief guest for Emancipation Day celebrations in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Brown believes his visit will strengthen ties between TNT and Ghana.
Inter-island flights from Barbados to Grenada and St. Vincent on the Virgin Atlantic have officially begun. Crystal Hoyt was on the first flight to the Spice Isle and filed this report.
UK carrier's Virgin Atlantic inaugural inter-island flight took off today to Grenada. The twice-weekly service will see flights out of Barbados to Grenada and St. Vincent. Virgin Atlantic country manager Caribbean Hannah Swift says these additional flights will offer more intra-regional travel opportunities.
Today on the inaugural flight between Barbados and Grenada, we're taking a fun journey down just to experience what it's like on board, to do the quick kind of 30-minute hop down to Grenada and have a good time and see what Virgin Atlantic is all about.
Tell me about your expected projections.
So at the moment, we are finding that the flights between the islands, between Barbados and St. Vincent and Barbados and Grenada are proving extremely popular. We've got a great price point, a great product, and a really lovely brand that not many people in the Caribbean have experienced. So the fact that they can now do it and jump on a wide-bodied aircraft between the islands is such an exciting thing. So we are expecting lots of people on board. We're already seeing, even though we've only been on sale for a few weeks, plenty of sales coming in. As my team can tell you, our office has been flooded with people.
Grenadian Leslie Ramdani welcomes the additional flights.
Well, for me, especially today, it is really important because I've been having problems to get back to Grenada since yesterday morning. Had to overnight in Barbados because the flight was cancelled, rescheduled for today, no connection. So this is really a great opportunity to afford persons who want to connect to Grenada from not only from Barbados but other islands. It's an important connection, and not only that, it will be good for our tourism industry. More opportunities to fly into Grenada.
Both Barbados and Grenada Tourism Board commemorated the occasion. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
In international news, Titanic Director James Cameron says the destroyed Titan submersible should not have been operating. He says many concerns had been raised over the design and material used for the vessel, which is believed to have imploded. Al Jazeera has more.
OceanGate shouldn't have been doing what it was doing. I think that's pretty clear. I wish I had been more vocal about that.
And there it is. You're looking right down into the curve of the A deck level.
A lot of them got together and wrote a letter to OceanGate and said, you have to certify. You cannot take people down. It's irresponsible, and it could lead to catastrophe. Literally, the word catastrophe is in the letter. I never believed in that technology of wound carbon fiber, wound filament cylindrical hull. I thought it was a horrible idea. We all knew that the danger was delamination and progressive failure over time with microscopic water ingress and fatigue, what they call cycling fatigue. And we knew that if the sub passed its pressure test, it wasn't going to fail on the first dive. It might fail on dive 7, or I don't know what they're at, but it's going to fail over time, which is insidious. You don't get that with steel or with titanium.
Discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible.
Sometimes people get go fever, and look, we celebrate innovation, right? But you shouldn't be using an experimental vehicle for paying passengers that aren't themselves deep ocean engineers.
In sports, cricket fans can now secure their seats for the West Indies versus England 8-match white ball series in December 2023 and the West Indies women versus Ireland women 6-match white ball series starting next week. Cricket West Indies says in a press release that the tickets are on sale for the men's 3-match CG United One-Day International Series and 5-match T20 International Series to be held in Antigua, Barbados, Grenada and Trinidad. Tickets for the matches in Trinidad will go on sale on Friday, July 23. Also on sale are tickets for the women's 3-match CG United ODIs and 3 T20 internationals at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground in St. Lucia. According to the press release, fans can now purchase tickets in their preferred viewing locations from the Windies ticket service at tickets.windiescricket.com. Time now for the entertainment news with Alicia Steele.
Welcome to PBCJ's E-News. I'm Alicia and I'm here to share some exciting news with you. The St. Andrew North Police are asking entertainer Jashi to turn himself in for questioning. Dancehall star Busy Signal was presented with a certificate of special congressional recognition. Keep watching for more updates on these stories. Jashi has been making strides in the music scene since his breakthrough with hits like Born Fighter, Cream of the Crop, Life Lesson, Keep Up, and 25-8. The St. Andrew North Police are asking entertainer Jashi, whose real name is Meluke Tafari Clark, to turn himself in with his lawyer to answer questions about his alleged role in the murder of 45-year-old businessman Omar Wright, also known as Romy. Wright was killed on Shortwood Road on June 7th by armed men. According to reports, Wright had an altercation with Jashi's mother, during which he threw water in her face. Jashi's mother reportedly operates a wholesale business in the community. The police believe that Jashi can assist with their investigations, as he was the last person who reportedly had a quarrel with Wright before his death. Dancehall star Busy Signal was honored for his musical achievements and philanthropic work with a certificate of special congressional recognition from the U.S. Representative Yvette D. Clarke. The award was presented to him on Sunday, June 11, at the Guyana Independence Celebration Committee of New York's 57th Independence Celebration in Brooklyn. The proclamation from Congressman Hakeem Jeffries recognized Busy Signal's vast versatility, infusing traditional Caribbean music with Afrobeats, soca, EDM, and hip-hop, which has allowed him to collaborate with artists such as Major Lazer, No Doubt, and Damian Marley. Jeffrey's proclamation also noted Busy Signal's philanthropic work through his Busy 2020 Helping Hands Foundation, which is dedicated to implementing sustainable programs to improve health, education, and the overall standard of living in Jamaica. Minister Marian Hall, formerly known as Lady Saw, is set to perform at Grooving in the Park. She promises to use her performance to trample demons and minister to the hearts of people. Grooving in the Park is a reggae and R&B festival held in Queens, New York. The event will be headlined by R&B crooner Charlie Wilson, who has topped the charts with 13 singles and has secured 13 Grammy nominations. Other performers include dancehall and reggae stalwarts Sham, Wayne Wonder, and Taurus Riley. Dancehall artist Spice, who was booked for the event, has pulled out. Grooving in the Park's CEO Chris Roberts said patrons are in for a wonderful treat this weekend. He said the festival has a stellar lineup which includes Friska Kid, Sir David Rodigan, Bass Odyssey, and Yard Beat. Now that's it for E-News. Thank you for tuning in to PBCJ's E-News. I want to particularly thank Hair Addiction Collections for providing me with amazing hair throughout the show. They offer excellent wigs at affordable prices. You can find them on Instagram at Hair Addiction Collections. I hope you enjoy the show. Remember to live an entertaining lifestyle. Over to you, Simone.
Thanks, Alicia. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.